For the past 10 years, Israel, the Mossad, the Israeli espionage agency, has been personally harassing, offering threats, issuing threats, and even openly getting America to sanction the former ICC prosecutor, the Gambian ICC prosecutor, Ben.
Anthony Blinken says he can't.
Oh, here it is. Here's Mr. Potato himself. Okay, here we go. Here we fucking go.
Confirm that U.S. munitions were used.
By the way, Israel refused to confirm if U.S. weapons were used in the Rafah strike. We know that they were because we saw the fucking shells, dude. The fuck? What do you mean? We don't know. I'm not going to confirm. It's like, you don't have to because there's footage. Yeah, they're Boeing.
Used in that attack.
Why can't the fucking Boeing incompetence work on their missile systems? You know what I mean? How come Boeing bombs are more reliable than the fucking airplanes, dude? Why don't the bombs fall apart before explosion? I think you're grossly overestimating the impact of these posts. I mean, ask yourself what happened when people posted the black square. I think these posts will not cause people to address the real issue. No, dude, I don't think you're understanding what I am saying. I do not think you understand the point I'm making, okay? It is different. There's a difference between sharing pro-Palestinian sentiments and sharing pro-BLM sentiments in America, okay, in the Western world. Either you're fucking baiting me at the top of the goddamn hour, even though there's 6 minutes until the top of the hour, and derailing the conversation further, or you just fail to consider the major differences between how many people share pro-Palestinian sentiment versus how many people share any kind of like pro-black sentiment, even aesthetically. People have not ever considered Palestinians as human beings. But you should probably consider the 3-minute ad break that's coming for you, and you should consider trying again and trying harder if that was what you were doing. Oh, it's bait. The top of the hour, got you, haha. Okay, well, you didn't get me because I was addressing your fucking bait. Classic. Classic. Here's a 3-minute ad break now, though.
Our data analysis team says that they have evidence that they almost certainly were. A weapons expert says it was American munitions supplied and made by Boeing. Will you confirm that?
Thank you for having me on, Mark. I've got no idea.
Sorry, you've got no idea?
I've got no idea of the...
See, in this situation, you know he's going to say that, so you should be prepared. Just like you should be prepared at the top of the hour. But like, you should literally be prepared. What can you do in this situation? Immediately hit him with the photo and be like, well, this is a B-39 bomb or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know the exact number. How did it get there? It's here is the exploded fragments of the bomb. How did it get there? A GBU-39, not B-39, a GBU-39. How did it just seemingly get there, you think? And it looks exploded. How did that happen?
Providence of the weapon used.
Hang on. You're one of the most advanced militaries in the world, and you are telling me that you can't tell me what the munition was and where it came from?
Mark, if you would have asked me before I came on for the providence of the weapon we used to kill, to eliminate 2 of these Hamas terrorists, then I would have come with that information. But an experienced journalist like yourself, I find it a little bit silly that you're trying to blindside me, asking me where the weapon that we used to kill these terrorists was made. I don't have that information. I would have that information.
Well, I'm surprised that you're surprised. I'm surprised that you're surprised because your IDF colleague was able to say that this munition that was used was the smallest munition that was able to be fired from a jet. So he knows what sort of munition it was. I'm just asking you, because Anthony Blinken was asked about this, why you can't confirm that these were American munitions. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, well, once again, Mark, it's a bit of a ridiculous question. I've been in communications for, I think, 40 years. I've never heard this line of questioning. I would have had the information if you would have asked it for me. I would have gone to find out who was the manufacturer of the weapon which we used to kill the terrorist. But I don't have that information. And the fact that you're making a fuss about the provenance, where this information, where the weapon was from, is slightly ridiculous. I can tell you why we fired the weapon and what the outcome was, if you want me to.
Well, let me just put this one.
I'm here to do PR for the genocide. I'm here to do PR, sir, for Israel's genocidal ambitions. Why won't you let me do my propaganda for Israel? You are coming across as quite anti-Semitic with your questions. This line of questioning is coming across quite anti-Semitic, sir.
To rest here. The reason I'm asking is that because it has become an issue in Washington. Anthony Blinken has been asked about it and says he doesn't know. And the question about it is whether, if it is US weapons that are being used for an attack that clearly went wrong for whatever reason, would that then cross President Biden's red line? That's the issue.
So let me tell you what the preliminary investigation to this attack told us. Yesterday afternoon, the Army released it, and what it said was that we took all the precautions necessary to make sure that no civilians were harmed. But our investigation has found out that the smallest munition in our armory, a 17-kilogram explosive that went on a jet, which fired two of them.
No, chatter. It is not, nor is it surprising that absolutely zero mainstream media coverage has been afforded to the ICC spying story. No. With the exception of The Guardian, of course, that wrote the article alongside and conducted the investigative reporting alongside 972 Magazine and Local Call. I have not seen it. What ICC spying story? Oh my God, I covered it for fucking hours yesterday. For the past 10 years, Israel, the Mossad, the Israeli espionage agency, has been personally harassing, offering threats, issuing threats, and even openly getting America to sanction the former ICC prosecutor, the Gambian ICC prosecutor Bensouda, smearing her and her family in Israeli newspapers, directly surveilling her communications, openly saying racist-ass bullshit. About her, like saying she's black and African. What is she going to do? Things of that nature. Of course, unfortunately, that coverage is not making its way to CNN. But maybe 2 weeks from now, CNN will do a bombshell investigation. One can only hope.
Which went after these two terrorists. Don't forget, these were terrorists whose hands, unfortunately, were drenched with blood, not only with Israelis, but with Brits as well. You remember the case of Lucy D and her two daughters who were killed in the Jordan Valley almost exactly a year ago. I think perhaps you were here for that occurrence.
Oh, this is true. By the way, the Boeing munitions do share similar incompetency to their planes. 10% of the bombs dropped on Gaza do not explode, and they are all used to locally manufacture more numerous, smaller explosives by the resistance factions. I know, but that's not just Boeing. America supplies 65% of all arms from 2013 to 2023 to Israel. 65 or 66%. I believe the only other two countries that supply the rest of the armory for Israel is Italy and Germany. The Axis. 30% of it comes from Germany. The rest comes from Italy. And so the likelihood that these the weapons are failing, highest likelihood still goes back to America, Boeing being one of the manufacturers.
Unfortunately, due to secondary explosions, most likely caused by a Hamas arms dump in that area, very, very close to our strike.
It's crazy that he knows the weight of the bomb, but not the manufacturer. Much to consider here. What's that about? What's that about, you guys? It's just odd. He knows the weight of the bomb, but doesn't know which bomb it is and who manufactured it.
That's what happened. This Hamas arms dump, let's be honest about it. The Hamas arms dump was designed to kill me, my people here in Israel, or anyone who happened to be a target of Hamas. Unfortunately, there were civilian casualties.
Yeah, we know what it is. I told you.
Extremely, we feel it's a tragic occurrence. But it's not
when will your inquiry? I get your point. I get your point. When will the inquiry be made public? The results of the inquiry be made.
By the way, they're lying when they say it's a 17-kilogram bomb. It's not. It's a 300-pound bomb. For the record. Here's a YouTube short of the GBU-39 bomb on a target drop from an F-16. It is larger than a human, okay? The dimensions of it are larger than a human. It is a 300-pound bomb. It is still technically considered a small diameter bomb, obviously, because these things go all the way up to fucking 2,000 pounds, as you know. So they're not wrong when they say it's a small diameter bomb. It is the classification.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
When they say 17 kilogram, they might be referring to the warhead. Is that what it is? 17 kilograms of explosive materials. Yeah. By the way, here it is. Like, that's not a tiny explosion, okay? Just so you understand. Like, our understanding for all the fucking, for all the weapons autists in the chat, obviously they're fucking probably going crazy right now because their perspective is like completely fucking warped by how massive these things can get. But that is like surgical precision. Of course, they have much more surgical weapons that they could use. They have drones that they could use, for example. Like even the drones that they use, even the drones that they used on the World Central Kitchen convoy, when they triple tapped them, if you remember, they literally hit, basically leaving a crater the size of like a human head on top of the car, if you recall. So that is infinitely more surgical. Not that it fucking matters. Oh God, missile technology is so fucking insane, dude. They have, I mean, we've looked at a couple of these. We've looked at a couple of the stuff, like they have weapons that basically are like, they have missiles that are basically just like a bunch of knives, okay, that spin when it falls on a fucking target. Like you have munitions that you can set to air burst, so they explode before impact, and doesn't create a crater. So many different types of bombs. Yeah, this is the knife one, the Hellfire R9X missile. It has no warhead, it has a seeker system, and it has 6 blades. Media doesn't do this analysis. The bargaining permissiveness with regard to explosives used to slaughter civilians with any other people. We are constantly dehumanized. It's at the point where bombs are allowed at certain sizes. Using that logic, would anyone accept a Hezbollah target? Hezbollah target Tel Aviv with a high number of small munitions? It drives me insane. Of course not. Because Israelis are humans, Palestinians are not. You're absolutely correct. It is active dehumanization of Palestinians. This is why it's very important. This is why it is very, very important to offer to offer any kind of to be excited about any kind of sentiment expressed that recognizes the humanity of Palestinians. Jake Tapper doesn't burp into the microphone. Yeah, guess what, dude? Fake Tapper. Owned.
Made public, do you think?
The initial results were made clear yesterday, which was extremely swift. My understanding, and again, you probably need to speak to someone from Israel's IDF to give you the precise answer, but the answer will come swiftly and it will be transparent. And in the same way that when we've made mistakes in this war, which of course, this is not a war that we wanted, a war that we asked for, but when we have made mistakes, we have held.
I made this earlier for myself to visualize the shrapnel kill radius, 400 yards of the 2,000-pound bombs Israel uses. After all your coverage, I still couldn't believe it. Yeah. It is insane, dude. Do you think Murat's facility made it? No.
Held our hands up. But in this case, what it looks like has happened is that a Hamas arms dump caught fire. It caused a huge fire that was backed up by telephone calls we intercepted from Hamas, and they pretty much confirmed that fact. So I expect it to be coming out very, very shortly.
You've seen the projects Murat has worked on. He makes commercial spacecraft. He makes commercial satellites.
Within a number of days.
Okay. Yesterday on this program, the former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert said there should be an end to the fighting now. He called it a stalled war. He said we should get the hostages out and that after that, Benjamin Netanyahu should go. I just wonder what your reaction is to that. Why would that be a bad idea?
So we are, of course, a vibrant democracy, and even within Israel's war cabinet, you don't need to go to former prime ministers to hear dissenting views and people airing their views. It's a national here in Israel for people to say how they feel.
Yeah, Israel is such a vibrant democracy as long as you don't say pro-Palestinian shit, in which case not so vibrant any longer. In which case not so democratic or vibrant at all, actually. We vibrantly start vibrating.
People don't hold things up here.
Two funny stories. The first Haaretz article, black line by the IDF censor as a fuck you instead of cutting shit. Haaretz published the piece with the black lines. The second has to do with the ICC story. Remember I said Yossi Cohen was kicked out of the Congo in 2022? Well, it turns out that piece included the link with Bensouda, but was censored. Journalist Gur Megiddo wanted to publish an article revealing that tomorrow, but he was censored too. In 2023, over 600 articles were censored by the IDF censors. Which, democracy, by the way. And it's not like Haaretz is a fucking anti-Zionist outlet, okay? They do have some brilliant anti-Zionist reporters, op-ed writers, Gideon Levy being one of them, but it doesn't change the reality that Haaretz is definitely, at best, overall, I would say, a liberal Zionist paper. It's the furthest left in the major papers you can get to, but it's no 972 magazine, you know what I mean? Amira Haas too. Yeah, Israel is such a vibrant democracy where political discourse thrives between how hard we will genocide the Palestinians. Some people want to go super hard. Some people want to go not as hard, right? But they still want to do the genocide of the Palestinians. That is the categorization. That is the neat little confines of what is permissible speech in Israel.
Say how they feel, maybe a little bit too much. But, you shouldn't be taken in by that point.
What? I can't wait for Israel to wipe Palestine off the map. This world has no need for terrorists with no morals and laws from 1960. I've never seen a country that needs to be put in check more than Palestine. How you sit there and defend them is absolutely insane. You're literally promoting terrorist activity. My friend, I have not once ever defended Israel. I do take offense to you saying I promote terrorist activity. I have not defended Israel, nor have I defended America. it is cool, and I welcome you recognizing the statehood of Palestine and Palestinians, sovereignty for the Palestinians. So that's cool. So that's great. I guess the official Israeli recognition for Palestine is near. It is also additionally ironic that you are literally saying, I can't wait for Israel to wipe Palestine off the map. The world has no need for terrorists with no morals and laws from 1960. I agree with you, which is why the Zionist apartheid regime will dissolve inevitably. And you will keep chirping. You will keep chirping all the way. It's cool. These dudes, this, by the way, here's another thing. Okay, this kind of sentiment was literally, no need to promo terrorists is sick. I'm not. Once again, I will repeat myself. I have not once and never will promote Israel or the United States of America. Okay? I do want to explain something here, though, because those are the real terrorists. Those are the actual. You're claiming USA are terrorists? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I am. Please explain. Explain. It's called the War on Terror. Have you seen it? Have you seen the consequences of it? 1 million Iraqis dead. Tens of millions displaced in the entire region. America's history of coups, fascist coups in Latin America, in Africa, in pretty much every fucking continent. America's covert operations under the auspices of NATO in Western Europe. America's operations in Asia, Indonesia. America's defense for war criminals. Oh my God, you need help? You're sick in the head, dude. Brother, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to an absolutely sick in the brain, diseased society. Okay? But having said that, if you think I'm sick in the head for literally explaining to you real historical moments from America's long history of fascism, I don't know what to tell you. Okay? We do not have a genuine understanding here. What you consider to be terrorism and what I consider to be terrorism are entirely different. Now, having said that, what? Come on, dude. Please don't make Western Europeans like some kind of victim to America to different degrees. Western Europe absolutely was victimized by America KKK. What the fuck are we talking about? What do you think Operation Gladio is? Why do you think Western Europe is the way that it is? It's not the same to the same degree. It's not like Nicaraguan death squads or whatever, but they had their own version. Anyway, you have to remember something. This kind of sentiment was literally the majority of chat post October 8 for months. Okay? Like, think about how much we heard this shit if you were in here since then versus how little you hear now. Not a majority, but like there was a fucking good third of the chat that was constantly chirping like this. Now think about the situation and how little you hear this kind of sentiment expressed in the chat. It's obviously marginal, but it is a microcosm of a much greater trend. Perhaps there's a reason why, for example, the New York Times offered endless amounts of coverage to Ukraine when Russia invaded Ukraine in an unjustifiable act, and yet very little coverage from the Daily is afforded to Palestinians. It is shocking, almost. It's because a lot of people who are Zionists don't want to fucking hear about it anymore because they recognize that it's gotten to a place where it's indefensible. All of these things, in my opinion, show a genuine attitude change. People just want to stop talking about it. They want to stop thinking about it. That's why Scooter Braun is no longer saying Israel has a right to defend itself by murdering as many babies as possible, but instead saying, hey, how about we say children of all sides are important? I don't know.
Because I can tell you that here on the ground amongst Israel's people, there is, I think, maybe 80% support for the war objectives, which are...
I mean, I suspect the intention for the blindfold is humiliation. You know, humiliation and intimidation, but I just don't know what they claim or how, whether or not if it's like a normal operational procedure.
To destroy Hamas, to bring our hostages home, 125 people still held by Hamas unjustly, some of them being killed, but many of them...
Yeah, shut the fuck up, dog.